The NPS says that the Royal Arch route offers about 1 million ways to get into serious trouble in a remote part of the Grand Canyon. This is a challenging route that is absolutely amazing, and I'm going to give you a few awesome campsites as well as insider info about shade throughout this video. First, Trailhead Access is really tricky. See the show notes for an alternative proposed route to the trailhead, since access through the res is currently closed for the time being. Next up, you need a few skills to do this route. You'll need to know how to safely rappel and build an anchor. Bouldering and scrambling with packs are prevalent throughout this hike, and you'll want to know a thing or two about navigating over rock. Still sounds fun? Let's dive right in. The best time to hike this route is going to be mid-October. Shade is easier to find this time of year, and the threat of snow or rain, which can make trailhead access impossible, is a lot less. We went in late April and dealt with a lot of heat. If that is your game plan, you're going to want to be prepared for 3 a.m. wake-up calls and waiting out the day in whatever shade you can find. We opted for a 3-night itinerary, but if I had to do it again, I would have spent 4 nights on this route. It's approximately 36 miles with 6,000 feet of gain and loss on our itinerary, and the first day we dropped all the way to Royal Arch. That is 12 miles on paper, but it was about 14 miles in reality. This was by far the hardest day of our journey. The South Bass Trail was really easy to follow, and we cached in Nalgene at the split with the Esplanade. We found that the Esplanade jaunt to be really quite easy. Our shade umbrellas were super helpful here, and there is a trail if you know what to look for. Beyond the Esplanade, things start to get really tough, and the day only gets more physical and more difficult as you descend further. We were beat up by the time we reached camp, and honestly stopped just shy of the Royal Arch by about 5 minutes, because traversing back and forth along the Royal Arch drainage looking for the path of least resistance while we had ran out of water added quite a few miles to our day and made us extremely exhausted, so the second we found water, we stopped. The next day was our quote easy day at roughly 5.5 miles, but it certainly did not feel restful. Working way back out of the Royal Arch Canyon and traversing around some precarious ledges was really tough on my partner. She didn't have a lot of experience with big exposure, and the day really wore on her. Once we reached the rappel, it got a little heads up for me. We were concerned about our bags flying off into the drainage we were traversing on the rappel, so keep that in mind and make sure you lock everything up. We had about 50 feet of climbing rope, and it was really straightforward rappel using a double-length runner as a harness. Eventually, we reached the river and dumped our bags. It was starting to get really hot, so we quickly tried to make our way to the Elves Chasm, and that was easier said than done. The trail was very scrambly, rocky, and I banged up my knee pretty badly getting there. We spent the day at the Elves Chasm communing with a few rafting groups. Everyone was super friendly, and they asked us if we needed anything, and we scored a few snacks. We filtered water here and made the mistake of leaving for camp at around 4 p.m. This was one of the hottest hikes I've ever done in my life, and it was truly brutal with absolutely no shade. When I do this route again though, I would for sure spend 2 nights at the little river camp. This would have given us some time to just chill and relax by the river and then hike out to Elves Chasm as a day trip for the next day. The hardest part of the entire route for me was making our way onto the precious Tonto Trail. Garnet Canyon had a lot of misleading cairns, and it was a huge pain to navigate. We were hauling our own water for the night, and we ended up off route in a crummy boulder field. Making our way out of this canyon took some time and really wore down our morale. But we managed, and I nearly kissed the ground on the Tonto Trail because I knew that the going would get a lot easier from here. At this point, we busted out our sun umbrellas and cruised our way to Copper Canyon, and we finally found a shady boulder that gave us plenty of shade all day. See the show notes for GPS coordinates to this spot. We basked in the glory for about 6 hours and then headed out for an additional final few miles to our camp along the Tonto Trail. Hiking in the evening light went quickly, and the temperature started to finally drop after many days of unprecedented heat. The scenery was just unbelievable. We made camp on a small ridge right next to the trail and enjoyed an unbelievable sunset and a delicious dinner. The next day we hiked about 7 miles out to the car. This was actually one of the easiest days of our trip. We rolled up camp early and enjoyed a sunrise on the start of the Bass Canyon Trail. The temperature had dropped about 15 degrees, which made this hike exceptionally pleasant and lovely. However, we had to keep a hustle on because there was rain and snow in the forecast, and we didn't want to get stuck on the mud driving back out. Overall, this was the most incredible backpacking trip I'd ever done, and I would do it all over again in a heartbeat. Every day was just so different and extremely beautiful. Aside from the river groups and one group camping at the trailhead, we didn't see a single soul on this trail. For more incredible off-the-beaten-path resources in the Grand Canyon, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter in the show notes down below.
Camping in the Grand Canyon, they said. It'll be amazingly beautiful and fun, they said.
I'm gonna get some audio of this. Oh my gosh.